Asato ma sadgamaya tamaso ma jyotirgamaya mrityorma amritam gamaya. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. We'll resume our study of the Mandukya Upanishad. So actually if you have the book in your hands, you will see that these mantras, although they are only 12 in number, they follow a particular scheme. I was also seeing this. The first two mantras are introducing to us the two techniques of Mandukya, that is Omkar Upasana and Avasthatraya Vichar. Then from mantra number 3 to 7, they concentrate on the Avasthatraya Vichar. And after that, till the end, till mantra 12, from 8 to 12, it's again Omkar Upasana. So we'll go just as the Upanishad goes, because we are not going into the commentary or the Karika, we are just concentrating on the Upanishad. But of course, all the information I'm giving you is from the Shankara's commentary, because his commentary is, oh my God, it's really wonderful. If you read it, see, there is a particular way of studying the Upanishad. I'll tell you how I study it. If you just skim through the mantras like this, you won't understand much. All these Upanishads are like that. So what you should do is, take up one mantra, try to see if you understand the word meaning. Many times you will not understand the meaning. Go to the commentary, just dwell on those words and the ideas which the commentary is giving you for a long time. If you do it in your after meditation period, it's even better, because your mind is relatively calm at that time. And then you dwell on the one, don't go to the next mantra immediately. Just dwell on the meaning, especially there will be some key words in every mantra, which are indicative of something very, very significant, very profound. You must capture the meaning. And usually it is only possible by the power of meditation. I'm again insisting on this. It is not a logical thought process, nor is it something you like the way you understand a mathematical theorem. It's not like that. It has to happen in the system for you to grasp what they are trying to say, because it is an outpouring of the realization of the Rishi. Please remember, that is the Upanishad. Unless something of that element comes into us, how will we understand it? If there was a real scheme to understand, a kind of a theorem-like scheme, then we could have followed that, the logical format. It is not like that here. So self-knowledge, always the practice, first-person meditation, not third-person information. Always you have to first achieve the state in yourself, at least something of that. And then this will become very clear. So obviously you have to invest vital energy, time, attention, everything into this, isn't it? It is like that. That is why we initially recommend a change in the lifestyle, a more sattvic lifestyle, and a certain calmness of disposition all the time. Try to maintain it, and deep interest in the subject. These are required for us to understand these Upanishads. Otherwise, you can just skim through quickly. It'll hardly take half an hour to go through this Upanishad, but you won't understand a thing. It's like that. Chandogya, Brihadaranya, all this I have seen it. They are like that. You have to go through the commentary and dwell on the meaning of those key words. Then gradually you will understand, it will start making sense. And if you have achieved some level of experience within yourself, then it becomes, at once it's something very real to you, what they are saying. So Mandukya also is like this. See, the second mantra of the Mandukya Upanishad, which we will go into today, it's so significant. It has got a Mahavakya, one of those very important, profound statements of the Upanishads which show you the connection between Atman and Brahman, which means the self and the supreme reality of this universe, the self and God. Brahman in the Upanishads means what we generally understand as God. right? So that consciousness, cosmic consciousness, which is the very source of creation, which is the very, you can say, foundation of all thought, pure consciousness itself, that is Brahman. So it is of the nature of existence, consciousness and bliss. Now here these Mahavakyas, they all mean the same thing. There are 4 Mahavakyas, you should know. They are distributed in 4 different Upanishads. And each one is going to, it's like a formula, giving you the relationship between Atman and Brahman. So we already have studied what these words mean. Now this Mahavakya, here in the Mandukya Upanishad, this Ayam Atma Brahma, this Atman verily is that Brahman. Another Mahavakya which you find in the Brihadaranyaka Upanishad is Aham Brahmasmi. See, if you just dwell on these statements, they are called the great statements or sentences, Mahavakya. Just you think of what they are saying, I verily in my real nature am Brahman. It's a very profound thing to understand, isn't it? Aham Brahmasmi is from the Brihadaranyaka Upanishad. Tat Tvamasi, the next Mahavakya, is from the Chandogya Upanishad. Tat Tvamasi, you are verily that Brahman. That Brahman is nothing but you. And Prajnanam Brahma is the 4th Mahavakya. It is from the Aitareya Upanishad, which means consciousness itself is Brahman. Don't think of Brahman as some other observable, objectified entity. No. Consciousness, that consciousness through which you are thinking, perceiving, feeling, emoting, memorizing, that consciousness itself is Brahman. The problem with us is we have not learned to turn the mind within. We try to understand everything through that consciousness, but we don't understand that consciousness. It's just like light. In light you see everything, but you have no knowledge of light. You have knowledge of all the things that light reveals, but you have no knowledge of light. The self is like that. It is in the self and through the self that you perceive, that you know. But self-knowledge is not there. What is the meaning of this? You can never ever objectify the self. So you cannot know it ever as an object. But you can become the self. You can only be the self, in fact. You cannot know it. The more you dive into yourself, you will become it. Because you are already that. You thought you were the mind. You thought you were the body. So this thought process and the mind, the mental function, this has to be somehow arrested and corrected. See, bondage is in the mind, liberation is in the mind. Maya is in the mind, and the state of being without Maya is in the mind. Everything is in the mind. The self is ever free. Ultimately, you only understand that I was always this. That's why the word realization, it is not an acquisition of some new knowledge or learning process. No, it is realization. Realization means what? Something is already there. I realized it is there. So long I did not know that this is here. Now I realized it is here. That's all realization means. It is already there, whether you know it or not. So the whole problem is with our mind. We have not invested in self-knowledge. This is the whole problem. We have invested in a whole lot of things, and the basic training from childhood is like that. You should know the world. Learning process means the objectified learning process. And there's no idea of the subject. So this literature is entirely concentrated on giving you knowledge of the subject. And ultimately it resolves into being and becoming. These are the words which Vivekananda used. It is, you can only be it because you are it. You just know you are that. So you see, this is what they are saying in the second mantra. Look at the mantra. Sarvam hetad Brahma ayam atma. Brahma soyam atma chatushpat. You have to read it like this. Sarvam hetad Brahma ayam atma Brahma soyam atma chatushpat. So you see this ayam atma Brahma, that is the Mahavakya of the Mandukya. This self is verily that Brahman. They are not two different things. Can consciousness have a demarcation or a partition? Can it have? It can never have. Can consciousness be in the singular? Or plural? It can only be in the singular. It is only single. Consciousness is, there are not many consciousnesses, isn't it? In awareness, there are no boundaries because all boundaries belong to the mind, not to awareness. Awareness is, here you will find it, it's a simple mass of consciousness. And its very nature is, it is conscious by itself. So it is called pure consciousness, so it is called Brahman. It's the only thing which is conscious by itself. We will discuss what this means. This is all very, very profound actually. What does it mean to be conscious by itself? And why are they saying everything else is functioning on borrowed consciousness? Only the Atman is conscious by itself. What is the meaning of this? Which means it has independent existence as consciousness. Everything else depends on that awareness to be revealed as that thing. Isn't this obvious in your experience? See, now this particular vase here. How many things are happening for you to perceive this? Do you understand it? Even the science, the physics of it, if you can grasp it, there's so much of mediation in seeing this as a flower vase, whatever. And what should happen? It has to first of all throw light at me. If it was not throwing out light, if it was not discarding a certain portion of the electromagnetic radiation, that light would not reach my eyes and I wouldn't perceive it. It would appear black. Black holes are like that. And if it was absorbing all the light, it would be white. Isn't it? So the point is, first of all, some discarded light should be coming out of this. Some amount of light. And that should reach my eye. My eye, it should get reflected on the retina as an inverted image. And then it should go to the visual cortex of my brain. There, you see, it is actually electromagnetic radiation and my neurochemistry together gives me an idea of the color of this flower. It is not actually red, you know. It is throwing out red light. It is something else. It is throwing out red. I perceive only the light which is thrown out. So I declare it as red. So isn't this an error in perception? All mediated knowledge is like this, erroneous. It is not the actual thing, but it appears to me as red. So color is an appearance of electromagnetic radiation. Right? Am I right? Color is only an appearance of electromagnetic radiation. It is not the reality out there. See, a simple act of perception itself shows you how delusive the process is because it is highly mediated. That is why I told you epistemology of perception, of cognition you must study. It's a video on Vivek Vani, I think. Epistemology of cognition. What is the epistemological process that involves a cognitive perception? Your perception of a red flower, how true is it? So what Vedanta is telling you is everything that you perceive is like this. You don't perceive anything in itself. The red flower is your contribution. The red color is your contribution to something out there. And it exists as this particular red flower only in your perception. So it has no independent existence as a red flower. Due to the process of perception, due to the heavy mediation it involved, and due to your apparatus to perceive it within the range of visible light, you gave it red color. This is true. I am not making up. This is what physics tells you. You get it? So it has no independent existence as a red flower. In your awareness, through your apparatus, it is a red flower. Nothing has independent existence similarly as that particular thing. In your awareness and through your equipment, it is perceived as that thing. Only consciousness does not require another consciousness to validate its existence. You just become aware. So that alone has independent existence. See, it will take you some time to digest this point. But the more you think of it, you will have this record with you. The more you think of it, the more obvious it will become. Only awareness exists by itself. It does not require something else to validate its existence. Everything else requires heavy mediation to validate its existence as that thing. So it has no independent existence. And so only the Atman is existing, is existence itself, consciousness itself. It is existing independent of everything. It is the source of everything. That is why we say God is the source of everything. So if you can grasp the logic in this and the very great significance of this understanding, you will see this second mantra is very powerful. It is telling you the self within you is the God of the universe. Hetad Brahma, Ayam Atma Brahma. All this is verily Brahman, appearing as these different objects. Name, form, color combination, all is my contribution. We saw it just now, just like how I contributed redness to this. Like that, everything I have contributed because my equipment makes me do that. Otherwise, I can't perceive the thing. You know, a cat will perceive this green stem as a grey stem. Now, is it green or grey? It's neither green or grey. To my equipment, it is green. To his equipment, it's grey. A cockroach does not see this as green or grey. It is it has compound eyes. So everything is like pixelated way it sees it. So a colorless mix of many things, it sees it like that. So now what is the reality about this? The fact is, none of these are real. According to our equipment, we are perceiving. Which means my concept of reality, it is really my concept of reality. Reality is not like this out there as such. There's no such thing. Isn't this a remarkable fact about human life and perception? I create my reality. I perceive what I want to perceive as per my equipment. So what they are telling you is everything in this world is like that. Brahman is the only reality. Everything else is made up in your mind. Name, form, color, all the attributes of any particular object are your contribution. Strange thing to, at first glance it may appear, what is this? But it is a fact. You don't go to Vedanta, you think for yourself and think from the standpoint of physics, and physics will tell you this is a fact. So this is what they are generalizing and telling us everything is only Brahman. Everything else that it appears to be, you contributed. It's your making. Creation is really existence itself, Brahman itself. All the intricacies of creation and the forms, names, all this has been given by us, by our minds. So, Ishwar Srishti and Jeev Srishti get combined. But we don't understand this at first glance. Creation is itself divine. It is of the nature of consciousness. But my mind interferes because the very object of perception, the method of perception is like that. And I mix up things. So this is why they are telling you, Etat Sarvam Brahma. All this is only Brahman, appearing as this particular person, that particular person, this table, this chair. See, actually speaking, the characteristic example of Vedanta is wood and chair and table and all this only. Here you have it all in plastic. Plastic is the reality. Table and chair are the forms and names given to plastic. But the table has become so real, we miss out the plastic at first glance, isn't it? This is a table, I will say. No, no. If you say it is plastic, you will say, oh, maybe it was made of plastic, but it's a table. The name and form supersede. The overlapping is so intense, the adhyas is so intense, I see only name and form. Because its function is all important to me. It has utilitarian value for me, isn't it, the table? Why should I say it's plastic? It is a table which I can use. So Vedanta is telling us, yes, you remember, wood can stay apart from the table, but table can't stay apart from wood, isn't it? So wood is the only reality there. Plastic is the only reality here. Plastic with a name and a form. For some time you must get rid of the idea of table. Then you will see, yes, plastic with a name and form is all that there is here. Brahman is all that there is here. Name and form superimposed on Brahman is this particular bureau, it is this particular table, chair, these people. But Brahman, existence is all that there is. The feel for this, you should try to get it in meditation. See, actually speaking, in daily life, ordinary life, we should be able to perceive this. There are moments when you get some kind of an intuitive feeling of oneness. In everybody's life, there are such moments. But meditation enhances those moments. So, make this a habit in places like these, where there are mountains and forests and all that, you're close to nature, spontaneously you will feel it from time to time. So capture those moments. That is the reality of life, not our silly thoughts. See, this Jiva Srishti is always put down in our scriptures. The world of our making, our thoughts and prejudices and emotions and biases and our attitudes, our whatever memories, they all impinge on our consciousness and mix up things for us. And we are seeing through that lens. So I perceive a world good, bad, right, wrong, all this my making. Actually speaking, you see how we are seeing. We are seeing through a thick lens. If you wear real thick glasses, although you have normal vision, how are you going to see the world? That's how we are seeing. That's why we have so much of problem with the world. Life becomes so unbearable. Look at the suicide rates among students. It's so pathetic actually. Why should this happen? Because the mind you're seeing through such a thick lens, you can hardly see what is really there. You are only seeing through a totally conditioned, confused mind, badly conditioned. So you are going to see a terrible world only. So then the solution becomes, well, let me end this system itself. How can that be the solution? But it doesn't even strike your mind that things will remain as they are. I will just lose my body. For the suicide, it doesn't even strike that because he's so messed up in his mind. He's had enough of his mind, he just wants to get out of it. And he thinks ending the body is the solution. So you see, this is the mistake we make just because we don't understand these things. I should be able to understand at least this much. My world is my creation of my mind. And if I change my mind, I will change my perceptions. So, Ayam Atma Brahma, the Atman is verily Brahman. This world is verily Brahman. See, the constant refrain of the Upanishads is this. And then, Soyam Atma Chatushpat. And this Atman, this consciousness itself, there's another word for it. It's later on, the commentary will call it Turiya. There are 3 states. It passes through 4. It has 4 quarters, it is saying. The mantra is saying. This self has 4 quarters. What is the meaning of this? See, this self passes through so many states, as it were. Not that it actually passes, the mind passes through it. But we are identified with the mind just now. So you can say the self passes through it. So it passes through what states? You told me yesterday. Jagrat, Swapna, Sushupti, and that's not all. There's one more. Yes, but Turiya is sort of unknown to us as long as you are identified with the waker, dreamer and deep sleeper. So that we usually say 3 states of everyday experience. No. Because you are the Turiya, that's why you are even experiencing the 3 states. So it is the underlying reality, that consciousness which manifests as the waker and experiences the waking state, that consciousness which manifests as the dreamer and experiences the dream state, and that same consciousness which manifests as the prajna, the deep sleeper, and experiences the deep sleep state, that pure consciousness is called the Turiya. The fourth. The fourth is not another state, you see. That's why there's a problem with that word fourth. It is the underlying reality of the 3 states, that consciousness which is experiencing the state. But anyway, here they are gradually leading us into that understanding through all this. So 4 states. What are they? Jagrat, waking state, Swapna, dream state, Sushupti, deep sleep state, and Turiya, which is, yes, the state of pure consciousness. In fact, Turiya is not the fourth state. It is the consciousness that underlies all these 3 states. But just now we don't know, so they are giving us all these ways of knowing. Finally, they'll tell you that only. In fact, the word Turiya comes in the commentary. Turiya itself means fourth. So they are helping us understand. No, this is not. You see, the waker. Now the 3rd mantra will go into this. They are only going to study the waker, the waking state. Please remember, the Upanishad is not interested in your waking state experiences or your dream experiences. It is interested in the nature of the waker and the dreamer. Because it's going to track the self, isn't it? Through all this logic and thinking, it is going to isolate consciousness through all these experiences, through all this data of the waking state, dream state, all this. And it's going to make some very profound observations about these states. So let's see how they do it. Go to the next mantra, 3rd mantra, Jagarita Sthano. See, this begins the Avasthatraya Vichar. Okay? Jagarita Sthano Bahish Prajnaha Saptanga Ekona Vimshati Mukhaha Sthula Bhuk Vaishwanaraha Prathama Padaha. So this waker who experiences the waking state, he is called technically here Vishwa or Vaishwanara. Get these words clear so that when the Upanishad uses it, you will know what it means. It's pretty obvious, Vishwa, because he experiences the external, the outer world as it were. The consciousness is invested in the experience of outer objects. That is the meaning. See, the meaning of Bahish Prajna actually means that Jagarita Sthano, the waking state, where you have Bahish Prajna, consciousness is turned outward to experience objects. See, this is not that pure consciousness. It is what happens is actually pure consciousness reflects in the mind. Mind is conditioned to look outward. So the consciousness gets filtered, as it were, outward through the senses. So only you are interested in outer objects. So this is the state of the Bahish Prajna, the waking state. Most people are like this, isn't it? The external is all that matters. What's happening within them? Well, that's why places of great isolation may not be very happy places for them, because they have never seen what is going on in the mind. The external is all that is real. So this is the state of the Bahish Prajna. Waking state is like this, where our consciousness is turned outward. And Saptanga, there are 7 limbs to this state. The meaning of this is, this may appear a little poetic to you, the way they are describing it. What they are trying to say is, this person, Vishwa or Vaishwanara, he is not one composite whole. He is, as it were, divided into 7 limbs. What are those limbs? See, the imagery is very poetic. He describes it through a mantra in the Agnihotra sacrifice. He says, heaven is the head of the Vaishvanara self, sun is the eye. So then heaven and sun, then all the Pancha Mahabhutas, which includes air, water, fire, you know all that, earth, space. All these are the limbs. See, please remember this. Why these are being called the limbs of Vishwa is, your body is Pancha Mahabhuta, solidified as it were. Your mind also is the subtle part of that. And the waking state, you are using these two to draw experiences from the outer world. There is a correspondence between the senses and the sense objects. That is why you see. There is a correspondence between the ears and objects which can make sound. That is why you hear. See, now there's a chirping of a bird going on. There is a correspondence between your ear and that sound. That is why you are hearing. So what they are trying to say is, the Pancha Mahabhutas and the heavens and the sun, all of these are, as it were, the limbs of this Vishwa, through which he is able to manifest externalized consciousness, and hence perception, experience, all this. Through all this body-mind complex, you are taking in experiences from outside. And then Ekona Vimshati Mukhaha, then it has so many mouths. Mouth means, again, the opening which helps you experience. So your 5 senses, the Jnanendriyas, then the Karmendriyas, the 5 Karmendriyas, the 5 pranas, vital forces within you. You must have heard of it, Pran, Apan, Vyan, Udan, Saman. These 5, so 15. And then the Man, Buddhi, Chitta, Ahankar. Totally 19 mouths through which you experience the external world. Isn't this true? Our body is made like that. So you see, Vishwa needs all this equipment to get experiences of the outer world. Part by part, they are explaining how consciousness is externalized in the waking state and how you experience through your equipment. Then, so as a result of this Ekona Vimshati Mukha, so many mouths through which there is sense intake. Impressions are taken in and converted into, in your mind, they translate into experiences. You know, even neurophysiology is totally not able to explain perception, how it takes place. See, this whole canvas, now there's all this scenery around us, hills and forests and valleys, right? Such a huge canvas. How does it in your little brain, how it becomes such a magnificent picture? After all, you are taking in electromagnetic radiation, it gets added to your neurochemistry, but how does it create that experience, the first person conscious experience of object like this? This is magic. How you experience exactly, how you perceive. Now they are telling you that it is through your externalized consciousness and by the means of your equipment that you experience in this manner, and so you are the Sthula Bhuk, which means the experiencer of gross objects. Here gross is not the American gross. It actually means physical objects. You experience things outside of you, external to you in this manner. Bhuk is you consume, as it were. And this is the Prathama Pada, this is the waking state. Nice explanation, no? How, see, we actually think life is about waking. I was studying the corresponding neurophysiology of this, which has been tracked through a lot of study, Didi, especially that those alpha, beta, theta rays, EEG, through that. So I have all that data with me, which is required for my university work. So how they are studying the state of arousal or waking, and to what extent the brain has to emit those particular rays for you to become fully awake. They are studying it that way. But please remember, the waker can best tell how awake he is. First person perspective. This is called the phenomenological method. When you know best how awake you are, isn't it? See, when you take a cup of coffee, you suddenly feel very alert after some time, isn't it? Now you can tell best, yes, I was feeling a little drowsy, but now I feel very nice. I feel fully awake. So there are degrees of arousal in you. And there are ways to augment your waking state. If you do it through some external means, you are on push start. Something is pushing you to awaken from within. If you do it by yourself, you are on self start. Now, Upanishad will tell you must do it yourself. Don't use coffee, drinks, drugs, aids to do all this, because after all, they are external aids. Tomorrow you may not have them, but you must generate a level of vitality and full arousal, wakefulness by yourself, by the regulation of your vital energies. See, this is the very important thing. Those who are not awake even cannot understand anything of Turiya, because it is a state which we are studying in this state of waking, isn't it? You can't do all this research in the dream state or deep sleep state. Only in here you can do it. In fact, no philosophy or science goes beyond the waking state. They are only studying waking state experiences. This is the only piece of literature which is studying all three states and then going beyond that also. So what they are trying to tell us is how you experience the world in the waking state. To summarize it, your senses are fully active, your motor organs are active. Through that you take in experiences, and your mind is fully active in the waking state. It is constantly interpreting, processing all those experiences, giving you knowledge, giving you experience, and putting it into your memory. And that is why you enjoy the waking state. Now, the dream state is a little different from this. That's the second quarter. That's the second mantra. Please go to, the fourth mantra. Swapnasthano antaprajnaha saptanga ekona vimshati mukha pravivikta bhuk taijaso dvitiya padaha. So, the state of dream, you can tell me best what it's like. Why should the Upanishad tell me? See, the state of dream is when senses are not active, right? But mind is active. Your subconscious mind is spinning your dream. There are no external objects you are perceiving, but in the dream, you never doubt the dream. It is like the waking state. You are actually experiencing objects which you have spun. They are not really there. But in the dream itself, you never feel it. Is it a dream? Then if you felt that, you would be in the waking state. If you doubted your dream. In the dream, it is absolutely the waking state for you. Only for you. Not for others. And you never doubt the objects which you are seeing. Everything is real in that state to the dreamer. So you see, your mind is capable of this, of generating, spinning something out of itself. Look at the magic of your mind and believing it's there and experiencing it also. You saw a tiger in your dream, you started sweating. You saw a beautiful scenery, you just loved it. So you experience in the dream subtle experiences you have. So that's the meaning of pravivikta bhuk. So word by word we'll go. Swapnasthano, the dream state. Antaprajna, the consciousness is as it were turned within. Not outward, inward. So here also you have Saptanga and Eko Vimshati Mukha. You have the same body mind. But what has happened? The sense organs have got arrested. Senses. And the mind is active, the subconscious mind. This is the difference. And Pravivikta Bhuk. You are experiencing Sukshma level objects in a subtle state. Not in the gross physical state. But you don't doubt it in the dream. It is waking state for you. It's real. It's the real thing. The way people use the word real, today in ads also. Anything as stupid as some drink can be the real thing. So, this is whatever you experience in the dream state is real for you. Then, Dvitiya Pada, this is the second state which you experience. See, you entirely spun it, okay? But only when you wake up, you know you spun it. In the dream itself, it's 100% true. Another very interesting thing about the dream, here let us discuss the dreamer very well. He's very interesting chap. We all become that. See, that is why, they have given generic names for the consciousness that experiences the dream, the waking state. It's not about like us as individuals. The consciousness which experiences the dream is called Taijasa. Just like how the waker was called Vishwa, the consciousness that experiences the waking world. So the consciousness that experiences the dream world is the Taijasa, the dreamer. Now, he is common to all of us. They are talking about you. Only a generic name has been given, not the individualized you, but the consciousness that is experiencing is the same for all, isn't it? We all experience, dreams may be different, but the dreamer state, the dreamer identity is almost the same. It's similar, same kind, we dream in the same way, although the dreams may be different. And according to the way you have built your ego, the dreamer may have certain particular characteristics. Like in your dream, I tell all those IIT kids, they love that Virat Kohli, they love him very much. So you may have become Virat Kohli in your dream, and you're hitting sixers and you're the great hero, superhero of the team. So you have become something. But I have become is the realization of the waking state. In the dream state, you are Virat Kohli. No doubts about that. Okay, you suddenly got that personality. You are behaving like him, you are walking like him, you are, everybody is cheering you. So you have this sense of switching identities in the dream and not minding it. Not minding it in the sense, you are not bothered by it. It's fine, it's happened. There's a no break in your sense of self-identity. You automatically have accepted that new identity. You have just become that because you love that character. So all these strange things we do in dreams, and they are perfectly as normal as the waking state in the dream state. Okay, there are no doubts there, no questions, no something strange going on, no such feeling. Perfectly accepted by the whole mind. And who lights up that dream? Think and see. Every night we have dreams. How do you see them? In what light? You provide the light also. Not just you make up the objects, you also provide the light. The light of your awareness gets filtered through your subconscious mind and lights up the objects which you spun. And it's so real, it's happening in front of you. Whatever you want can happen. Intense desires, they materialize in the dream. And intense fears also materialize. Anything, whatever is stacked in the subconscious can come out like that. And you provide the light also. So now you have created your own world there. And you enjoy. You know how dreams are. Have you heard of that REM and non-REM? Shamina, they will be knowing, but about the others. So maybe I will read that out to you sometime. There are periods in your sleep where you go into intense sleep and then a little less sleep, then again there is like this, you go through these periods in your sleep. So when you are in the dream state, you have switched identities and you have created a whole world for yourself and you are perfectly at home with it. This is the dreamer, the Taijasa. Tejo Mayatvatva Taijasa, which means he himself is luminous. Otherwise, how he can provide light? This discussion is there in the Brihadaranyaka Upanishad. Who is it who lights up the dream? Then it's I. Then who's that I? So the dreamer, you see, these states are mutually exclusive, In the sense, the identity which I have now may not be my identity in the dream. I may be somebody else. It's an exclusive identity I have created for the experience of something. And they seamlessly sort of get integrated into me. No part of me, unless one is a yogi, no part of me will stand up and say, "Arey, you are not that. How are you playing that role?" What happens with yogis is their awareness has come so much into bloom, into blossom, that they have pockets of awareness even in dream. So there is no question of their forgetting the dream, but they also have the capacity to direct the dream state. Isn't this remarkable? The more aware you are, the more your dreams will stop being unconscious, coming from the unconscious mind. So this is a possibility for, now that kind of mind is required to go to the final Turiya. So I am taking up that also. Dreamer. And then finally you have the deep sleeper. So this dream, this Taijasa is a very interesting chap, I'll tell you. Very interesting for the waker. He functions like another individual, the Taijasa. See, it's a generic name which I am using. In all of us, it's the same avastha hai. We all pass through. Only in the deep sleep state, please remember, our experience of the deep sleep also is the same. Dreams may be different for the dreamers. Okay, but deep sleep, the glory of the deep sleep state is there are no dreams, and the experience of deep sleep is the same universally in all beings. I need to ask you what was your dream like yesterday, but do I need to ask you what was your deep sleep like yesterday? I don't have to, because what was mine was verily what was yours. So go to the next mantra, they will tell you the Sushupti Sthan. What is it like? Yatra supto na kanchana kamam kamayate, na kanchana swapnam pashyati, tat sushuptam. Sushupta sthana eki bhutaha. Prajnana ghana eva anandamayo anandabhuk cheto mukhaha pragnyas tritiya padaha. What they are trying to say is, this deep sleeper, he is not chasing any desire or spinning anything, nor is it seeing a dream, thinking about something. See, deep sleep state is where senses are shut down, mind is also shut down. Subconscious, unconscious, everything is shut down. So no objective experience. But that doesn't mean no experience, because how do you know there was no objective experience? What I am telling you is, see, first of all, think of your own deep sleep state. Get this correct, okay? It's entirely phenomenological. You can understand it only through your experience. Think of the state when you got up in the morning and you really felt so refreshed and happy and peaceful because you had such a good night's rest. In Pangot, you have it often, isn't it? Every night is almost very, very good sleep. So when you have woken up like that, you feel happy, restful, isn't it? You covet deep sleep state. Now, you know very well you did not spin any dream in that state, you did not experience anything in that state, yet you are happy and peaceful. Now, who is it who knows you did not experience anything? How do you know? Yeah, who? That means there was a consciousness which saw the blankness of deep sleep. Isn't it? Otherwise, how would you know? See, please remember, that is why deep sleep, how it is described is it is not a lack of experience. It is actually an experience of absence, an experience of the blankness. You were always there. And this is not inferential, it is experiential. I am not drawing an inference. You yourself are telling me I slept happily, but no experience, no objective encounter. Which means you were there. Who recorded that otherwise? Huh? The thing is, remember, in the waking state, dream state, mind is recording. Deep sleep state, mind also is not there. Yet blankness is experienced. You know, I had restful, peaceful sleep and absolutely nothing else, blankness. So something has experienced this. Someone has experienced. So that is the one whom they are calling the prajna, the deep sleeper, the consciousness that experiences deep sleep state. Just like how we had Vishwa and Tejasa, we have this third chap called prajna. It is you in the deep sleep state. Very interesting guy, this prajna also. Because he has experienced the absence of everything. And yet he can say peaceful, restful it was. See, if you didn't have this experience, you know how you would describe your sleep states. You would say, well, I lay down and I had this dream and I woke up. The fact that you say, I'm so restful, actually all your nerves get rested. Your brain gets rested. Because there's no thought process, you know. And our stupid thought process always takes us for a ride. So you have not done anything of that. So you get great rest in sleep. And the peacefulness, the restfulness, the blankness are all you have experienced. So this state, the Sushupti state, the deep sleeper, why he is called prajna is, see the word itself, it is not prajna, it is prajna. It indicates that you have had the knowledge of absence of objects. It is an experience of absence and not the absence of all experience, the deep sleep state. In a yogi, a man of awakened awareness, deep sleep state is almost, he can study it like the waking state. Because his sleep, Turiyananji Maharaj used to say, he was a direct disciple of Thakur. He used to say, Amio ghumoi kintu toder motun noy. I also sleep but not like you all. The awareness has touched such an intense level. They are aware even in deep sleep. Awareness does not require rest. Your body-mind complex, which is always overworked and you know how it works, that requires rest. So Sushupti is a great pointer towards the state of Turiya. Your awareness is always uninvested in the body and mind, but you get identified with them. This is your problem. See, in the deep sleep state, mind was shut, isn't it? Senses were shut, mind was shut. But you were there to experience blankness. Which means your consciousness is not in touch with your mind. Oh, great clue we got now for the nature of the Atman. Your consciousness is always independent of your mind and body. But you thought you are the body and mind. It's an error in your brain, in your mind. In all these ways, they are only pointing out to your real being, your real state. That's why Turiya, the what is called the fourth, it is actually not the fourth. It is that consciousness which acts like the waker, acts like the dreamer, acts like the deep sleeper. I told you, it manifests as the waker and experiences the waking state, manifests as the dreamer and experiences the dream state, manifests as the deep sleeper and experiences the deep sleep state. One consciousness. That is called the Turiya. The next mantra will go into that, but wait, we have to study deep sleep, more to study in deep sleep state. So are you understanding how the Upanishad is taking you to self-knowledge? See, they are our own states, so you should be able to think like this. I am experiencing this every day. Only I didn't analyze it like this. Now the Upanishad is helping me analyze. That's why Upanishad means it's a pointer. It is offering you tremendous clues. This is how you should take it. Of my own being, about myself. These three chaps whom we studied, the Vishwa, and then the Taijasa and Prajna are you. Isn't it? You as the waker, you as the dreamer, you as the deep sleeper. But none of these are actually you. Only the Turiya is you, and these were assumptions. When you got identified with the body and mind completely and the consciousness got externalized, you experienced the waking state, where you contacted objects on the external front. And when you identified with the subconscious mind and it spun the dream objects, and you identified with them, then that externalized subtle level consciousness which you spun, that is called the Taijasa. Again, you see, Prajna manifests as the Taijasa. It is not the Taijasa, not Prajna, sorry, Turiya. Turiya becomes the Taijasa, manifests as the Taijasa. So Taijasa and so also Prajna state. So all these three are not your complete, you can say, identities. But Turiya is your complete being. It is the real you. So this is what they will tell us in the next mantra. But wait, let's not still go to the next mantra. Here there are few more words and keys for you to understand. See? Sushupta sthana eki bhutaha, which means it is one mass of consciousness. See, in the state of deep sleep, do you have different objects, different forms, different names, different experiences? No. It is one mass of consciousness. In the deep sleep state itself, you will not be aware of it. You know why you are not aware of it? Why this problem of blankness occurs? Because the recording equipment was your mind. That got shut down. So who would record now? Nobody to record. But subliminal consciousness is able to know, even without the aid of the mind, that there was experience of absence of objects. It was an experience of objects. Just like now, see, the Hubble Space Telescope is showing us the visible universe. Okay. If the Hubble Space Telescope was shut down, would the visible universe be there or not? It will be there. It will be there. Like that, in Sushupti, your mind got shut down. But whatever you experienced in that state, the state of blankness, where there was no, that somebody has seen, otherwise you wouldn't tell it when you are in the waking state. You wouldn't say, yeah, it was a state of deep restfulness, peacefulness. Who saw that? So please remember, your consciousness is always apart from your mind, but you function through reflected consciousness in the mind and identify with it. That is your ego, your sense of I. That again gets attached to name and form. Our sense of individuality is generated, and through that we get attached to objects. I like this, I don't like that, I am desirous of this, I don't want that. All likes and dislikes, desires, hate, anger, love, all this is generated. So if you want to transcend this plane of duality, you must go inward into awareness, which you are. You are not the sense-bound individual. This is just the equipment through which you function. You got identified with the equipment, what to do? This is our problem. We get identified with the body and mind and the different faculties of the mind in strange ways. So that our sense of identity is so solid, somebody trying to shake it, we can't bear it. Nobody can shake the real you. Even a bit of this knowledge in the first person, in real life, will change your entire perception of the world. And so much of inner balance, calmness will spontaneously come, isn't it? It's pretty obvious. The way we react, the way we observe, the way we interpret things, the way we process information, all this will change. Today, these are our actual practical problems, isn't it, in life? Memories are not good, so I don't feel good within myself. interpersonal relationships are not good. All this is happening because somewhere my awareness has gone down and the thought currents have dominated the mental field, and they are badly conditioned, wrongly conditioned. So I have drawn all sorts of equations, and then I can only blame the external. That person is not good, this is not right, that decision was incorrect. I never see anything else other than that. So going into this knowledge, that is why it is very important. See, we just have 1 minute, I'll just finish this. See, prajnana ghana, ekibhuta prajnana ghana, the prajna is of the very nature of consciousness. Because, do you understand why? He was the one who told you blankness existed. He is the one who is telling you that. So he is the conscious agent there. He is of the very nature of consciousness, and eva anandamayo, the state was also blissful, isn't it? Can you do without deep sleep? See, you prepare so many things to go get a good restful sleep, isn't it? All that we are collecting in this center, we know very well. You have to do all that in order to get a good night's sleep. But the sleep itself is more than enough. You see, a really tired person doesn't require a good pillow or a bedding or anything actually. When his body and mind are exhausted, the sleep will come. So the idea is, it is so restful, the sleep itself, it fills you with happiness. In fact, your beautiful experiences of the waking state are possible only because of prajna. Because you have experienced the deep sleep state. So in this Upanishad, they will also tell you the Vishwa resolves in the Taijasa in the Prajna. They will tell you all this. The meaning is this. Are you getting it? Tomorrow maybe I'll dwell a little more on this. Eva anandamayo anandabhuk cheto mukhaha prajnas tritiya padaha. He is blissfulness itself. That is why you experience bliss in the deep sleep state. You experience great happiness. And Anandabhuk, he is the enjoyer of that blankness. A very subtle causal level happiness he enjoys. You can't do without deep sleep actually. Cheto mukhaha, he is close to consciousness, the prajna. He is turned towards that pure awareness. And this is the tritiya padaha. This is the third quarter. So this prajna requires more observation, which we will do tomorrow because time is up today. We'll stop here. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.